Hey guys, Peter here to tell you about the debut record from Until I Wake, Inside My Head, out September 9th on Fearless Records. The album has 13 tracks, 43 minutes in length, and they are an American metalcore band. And I say metalcore because there are a lot of metalcore elements on this record, but this is a very diverse album. And that diversity of sound definitely impacts the design and definitely impacts the structure. A design and structure that I'm not a huge fan of for two main reasons. The first reason is I didn't find a beginning, middle, and end. This album is very chaotic. It doesn't really offer me a path. I actually found myself lost within it more often than not really sure if I'm going forward, I'm going backwards. I was just not able to see the big picture. The quality of the individual songs doesn't really lend itself to paint a picture for you at the end of the experience. The other issue for me is the length of the album. When you have an album that is this chaotic, this diverse, you want the experience to be shorter so that you experience that, you see the chaos, you don't quite get it, but you want to listen to it again because you want to try to dive deeper into it so you can better understand the record. When the album overstretches itself, you don't have that capability anymore because the listener will disconnect, will feel like the album is repetitive. It actually has the opposite effect of what the record actually is all about. And I saw all of those elements on this album, and it's all elements that I don't really gravitate to. It takes away from the playability, and it takes away from the overall quality that the album could have. As far as sound is concerned, think about this. Linkin Park, Necrogoblikon. This album is everything between Linkin Park and Necrogoblikon. I mean, it's a mashup of so many different styles, so many different genres, so many different influences that you're never really sure where you're going with it. Does the overall sound have an impact? Yes, it does. The production on this record is phenomenal. It's clear, it's crisp, it sounds really good. It gives you exactly what the songs are designed to give you. That you cannot take away from this album. But the chaos that exists within this record, the volatility of influences, the volatility of styles, the volatility of sound experiences really dilute what the record could be, and it doesn't allow you to see who this band is all about. I mean, if they were going for an album that showcases everything that they can do, all of their different styles, all of their different approaches, then this record delivers, if that is the case. But for me, when it comes to a debut album, I'm not looking for a collection of songs. I'm looking for a connection with the band. I'm looking at starting a journey together. And for me to start that journey with the band, I need to know where are they going? What's their sound? What's their DNA? What are they trying to achieve? Where are they trying to take me with them? This record actually creates more questions than answers them. And the soundscape, because of the diversity that it has, really creates this quagmire within the experience of listening to the album. Now, within the soundscape, there are two elements that have different roles and have different impacts on how you're going to perceive that same sound experience. You have the synths and guitars. This album really lives off of those two main core elements. The synths on this record felt a little bit disconnected at times. I mean, they are the record. It feels like the album is overly dependent on them. I understand that you want to use them, you want to create melody, you want to create atmosphere, you want to make the songs bigger, brighter, almost allowing the tracks to be melancholic but still give you a sense of a light at the end of the tunnel, and definitely the synths can help you with that. But at times they should have been pulled back a little bit. It becomes too much, it dilutes the sound. The same way the structure feels diluted, the sound at times will feel diluted because of the synthesizer impact doesn't mesh necessarily well with all the other elements that you're trying to integrate in some of these songs. Elements, for example, like the guitars. I love the guitar sound on this album. I love the breakdowns, I love the riffs, I love the heaviness that they give. I just wanted the guitars to be more in the forefront, to be more of the driver of the experience, sung in and sung out. Allow them to lead the way and then put the synths on the back of the guitars. Sometimes on this record was the other way around. And that for me had a negative impact because it took a strength away from the record. It took a strength away from me as the listener. And the guitars on this album definitely are a strength when you're able to digest them properly. Now the vocals, this album has a lot of diversity. It has a lot of different approaches. It has a great range as far as the vocal performance is concerned. But I must say this, the clean vocals are phenomenal. I was expecting the harsh vocals. I was expecting the more electronic style vocals. There was a lot of things I was expecting coming in, even a little bit of the rapping. I didn't mind that at all. I thought it worked well in the concept of the individual songs. But the clean vocals, I must say, that really surprised me on how good they were, how haunting they became, and how much they deliver the lyrical message of these songs. It became one of the main senses of consistency amongst all of the chaos that exists. All around, this is your typical debut record. It has a lot of faults, it has a lot of shortcomings, because it feels like it's an album that was worked on through a very long period of time. And as you're working on it, you're discovering yourself, you're changing your mindset, you're changing how you view the band and the music that you're trying to make. You're trying to showcase everything all at once. There's always that fault when it comes to a debut album. Bands want to show too much. I think sometimes you have to show a little bit less and let people wonder what's behind the curtain. And this album could have done that, and it didn't. In my opinion, is what you would expect normally from a debut album. You see the quality of the band, you see what they can do in the future. I just hope that they understand that and move towards more of a narrow path, at least. And I'm not saying you cannot go outside the box, but at least give me more of an idea of what your vision is for the entire album, not just for the individual songs. As far as individual songs are concerned, I picked 3 that really stand out because I think these songs have incredible quality that really showcases the quality that the band has. Still Sinking, mixing heaviness musically, vocally, like the mixing of the heaviness with a more melodic approach. And when you have vocals and sound that does that together, you have a track that really moves well. It has a melancholic approach that almost borderlines the melancholic. It's the melodic and melancholic coming together. The two intertwine as this song moves and as you start to feel better within it. The heaviness helps stabilize this track. It really does. You feel the consistency of the heaviness kind of grounding the track. And then the melodic side of the song creates these jolts of energy. They break off of that levelness of heaviness. And that's where you're going to find more of that melancholic approach, is within that melody that breaks through. The clean vocals really help define that melody and melancholy that make the song have these two distinctive approaches, but that are merged really well with one another, making the song very energetic, very heavy, very abrupt at times, but in a very good way. Next you have Undeserving, a very stripped down track. I mean, if I would have to classify this song, I would classify it as a ballad. It's not really a ballad, but it does feel like a ballad. It starts off with the piano and vocals, very stripped down, bare bones, very emotional. You can tell the energy that it has, you can feel the emotion that it has. The lyrics come to the forefront. Those clean vocals are outstanding. They brighten up this. They brighten up the song, but not in a positive kind of way, just in a very somber kind of way. They really move the track well. The two work phenomenally with one another. And then you have that explosion of energy at the end. The heaviness comes out. Everything that you have been building up on the inside finally has a chance to escape. It's like a volcano erupting, and it finishes off on a very heavy note. But I love this transition, I love this movement, and I love the growth, and I also love the strings. They added that as you moved along, so you have the pianos, then the strings came on. It just became a super dark, somber, melancholic track with beautiful vocals behind it. Vocals that led the way from beginning to end. Even when the song got heavier, you still felt the power and emotion in those vocals. Last but not least, For the Record, a very energetic track. If there's a song that I take from this album that I would like to see the band do more of consistently in the future, it's this one. This song has all the right elements, musically and vocally. It blends perfectly the electronic side of the band with the heavier side of the band. This song found the perfect balance between those two worlds. It gave me both of them in the right amounts, together, blended. The song didn't feel broken. The song had a sense of path. It had a sense of purpose, and that's not something you find on every single track on this album or in the album in general. So great song because of what it offers and the glimpse that it gives you into what the future could be for Until I Wake. This is it. This is my review on Inside My Head, out September 9th on Fearless Records. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.